Got my point? But however, still the plant responds to the external stimulus, okay, or to the they respond to the stimulus, okay, in two ways, okay. Means they respond to the stimulus in two ways. One is the internal response, internal, another one is internally, or you can say internally and externally. Got it? Internally and externally and externally. Okay. How they respond internally and externally? Internally, the plants is going to respond by using a specialized hormone that is called phytohormones. Phytohormones. And another externally, if they respond in two ways by using tropic and nestic movement. Nestic movement. Let me explain you one more time what is this tropic and nestic movement. Okay. So, for example, that I'm going to give you an example that if the stomata, if the plant is going to have less amount of water, then the stomata gets used. Okay. Okay. If the plant is not going to give, I mean, if the plant is not flowering or there is a late flowering in the plant, then this is because of some hormones. Okay. Some deficiency of some hormones. Okay. If the stomata are closing and opening, that is also controlled by the hormones. So we can say that by secreting some specialized hormones, okay, plant response. Got it? Plant response to the stimulus. For example, if the plant is dehydrated, then in that condition, what is plant is going to do? Tell me if the plant is dehydrated conditions, means we can say the less amount of water is there in plant, then what is it going to do? Will it close its stomata or not? Tell me, will it close its stomata?
It closes its stomata.
It will close its stomata. Similarly, if I'm saying that here, for example, you see if a unilateral light is given to the plant, then what is going to happen? If a particular direction of light is given to the plants, okay, then what is going to happen? The stem of the plant is going to bend. Stem of the plant is going to bend. The stem will bend. Okay, why it is bending? Okay, sometimes you see that the duration of sunlight, for example, if the plant if more duration of light is given to the plant, then it will do the flowering. Okay, if similarly if you touch some plant, it result in closing of leaves. Okay, so their plants response to the external stimulus in different ways. Okay, and most importantly, the plant is going to respond in two ways. One is internally means hormones, by using hormones, and externally it responds in two ways. One is the tropic movement and the nestic movement. So let's consider and learn each and every one in detail. Okay, got it? Got it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So let's start. Let me write each and everything. Okay. So write it with me. Okay. So looking in plants, the control and coordination is not well defined. However, plant response to stimulus. You know what is a stimulus? You know what is a stimulus?
Stimulus is changes in the external environment.
Yes. Anything that is change in the external environment and that result in the in our response. For example, temperature is a stimulus. Light, duration of light is a stimulus. Okay. So in plant, the control and coordination is not well defined. However, the plant responds to stimulus in two ways. One is internal response, and second one is external response. Got it? Now you know that sometimes the plant response, like the activity of you see that the activity of meristematic tissue, meristematic tissues are keep on dividing. Okay, so sometimes if the hormones, if it means a more growth is being required for the plants, so the more number of meristematic tissue will keep on dividing and resulting in growth in plants. So this growth of the plant is also controlled by the hormones, and that is called the phytohormones. You understood? Okay.
Yes, sir.
So we can write here the plant response to stimulus in internally by the activity of meristematic tissue, meristematic tissue. Okay, by the activity of meristematic tissue. Okay, ripening of fruit, comma, ripening of fruit, comma, opening and closing of stomata, opening and closing. Got it? And these are controlled by with the help of specialized hormones, that is called these response means the activity of meristematic tissue, whether the cells keep on dividing or not, whether the fruit is being ripened or not. Okay, opening and closing of stomata. Okay, so we can say these are the response, and these response are controlled by specialized hormones called phytohormones, called phytohormones. Note it down till the end. Are you writing?
Yes, sir. Done, sir.
Okay. Is there anyone in the class who is still writing? Done?
No, sir. Done, sir.
Okay. So let's move the types of phytohormones. Types of phytohormones. Okay. What are you saying, Faiz? Have you not done? Should I move to the previous slide?
No,
Faiz?
sir.
Okay.
I'm
Types
done.
of types of phytohormones. So if I'm just talking about the phytohormones, the phytohormones are 5 types. One is the auxin. Auxin is a type of phytohormones that help the plants generally in cell divisions, growth. That is a growth promoting. We can say that it is a growth promoting hormone. Okay, and it help in cell division. What is going to help? What in what factor I'm explaining? First of all, it helps in the cell division. For example, if we have some type of cells, okay, and when we added a solution of auxin to it, so what is going to happen? These cells start dividing at the faster rate. Okay, So these cells start dividing. So it promotes cell division. Moreover, for example, these are generally present at the tip of the plants, root, leaves. Okay. So here it is present at the tip, at the shoot, okay, at the leaves. So they are present everywhere on the at the tip of leaves, at the tip of shoot, at the tip of roots. Okay. So what is going to help? In what factor it is going to help? It is simply going to help in the elongation or the length, increasing the height of the plant. It increases the, tell me, it increases the height of plant. Got it? Height of plant. Moreover, another thing that it is doing, or we can say that the oxygen help. The oxygen help in we can say that it inhibits the anti, or we can say that aging of plant part. For example, if the leaf is occurring, or we can say that if the green leaves are converting into yellow just in a short lifespan or on a short duration of time, so that oxygen inhibits that process. Okay, so if the sufficient amount of oxygen is being secreted, then the what is going to do, simply that the leaves will remain green for a long time. Okay, so we can say that it helps in, or it inhibits the aging of plant part. It inhibits the aging of plant part. You understand?
Yes, sir.
So it inhibits the aging of plant parts. First of all, inhibits aging of plant part of plant part. Most over, and इसके अलावा what does it do? Tell me. It it help in premature, we can say that if a leaf is falling. Okay, so if a leaf is green, okay, we know that in the autumn season the leaves falls generally, but it help in premature fall. It prevent the premature falling of leaves. Okay, premature falling of leaves. Okay, so let me write the functions of oxygen. So it is a growth promoting hormone. It is a growth promoting hormone. It helps in cell division. Generally present at the tip of shoot, or increasing the height of the plant. Of the plant. Note it down. It also inhibits aging of plant parts. Understood? Now you understood the function of oxygen.
Yes, sir.
What's the function of oxygen? Tell me. If I ask you that which hormones help in cell division, so will it be oxygen?
Yes, sir. It's oxygen.
Oxygen. It inhibits the premature falling of leaves, means it does not allow the leaves to fall. If a leaf is green, it will not fall. It inhibits the aging of plant part, means if the leaves are generally getting older, or we can say it is becoming green to yellow, so it inhibits that. It will not allow the plant leaves to become CO2. Okay, got it? Got it?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
And does everybody has written this one?
Yes, sir.
Anyone in the class who is not who is still writing? Should I move to the next
1
slide?
minute. 1 minute.
Note it down.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So moving to the next part is next type of hormone is gibberellin. So I'm saying gibberellin. So gibberellin is another growth promoting hormone. We can say it is another growth promoting hormone. Growth promoting means responsible for growth. Okay. And what does it do? It generally increases the growth of the plant. Means it is responsible for increasing the lateral growth. Lateral growth means increases the width of the plants. Okay, it increases the width of the plants. Okay, and become more and more. Means the width of the plant become more. Okay, responsible for increasing the width of the plant. Got it? So it is another growth promoting hormone. It is responsible. It is responsible for lateral growth of plant. Lateral growth of plant. Okay, done. Moreover, what does it do? It decreases the dormancy period. Dormancy period, you know, dormancy period is the period when you bury a seed into the into the soil. Then the time for which is taken by the seed for its germinations for means from in the time that is being utilized or being used by the seed in order to give a baby plant. Okay, or to use a baby plant or convert it into a baby plant. So we will say that this is called dormancy period. So what it do? It decreases dormancy period. Dormancy period. Okay, you understood? Hmm? Okay, dormancy period means time taken to. What is dormancy period? Time taken by seed for its germination. Got it? Understood, everybody? Got it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now moving to the next part is third one is cytokinin. Third hormone is cytokinin. It is also growth promoting hormone. It is the third one. It also promotes the growth. It is growth promoting hormone. And along with auxin, it is also responsible for we can simply say that cytokinin also help in cell division, like the auxin help in cell division. The cytokinin also help in cell division. So we can say that along with auxin, it also help in cell division. Okay, and more importantly, that the cytokinin also help in close opening of stomata. It also help. It is responsible. It is, yeah, we can say it is responsible for opening of stomata. Understood? Done? Tejasvi,
Yes, sir.
is there anyone who's still writing?
Done, sir.
Which two hormones generally help in cell division? Name the two hormones that help in cell division. Auxin and cytokine. Okay. And This also helping. Which hormone is responsible for opening of stomata?
Cytokinin.
Okay, cytokinin. Now the third one is abscisic acid. Abscisic acid. We can simply say that abscisic acids are we can say that it is a fruit ripening hormone. No, ethylene is the fruit ripening hormone. Abscisic acid is the hormone which help in uh, aging of plant parts, generally responsible for aging of plant part. Means it help in becoming the plant part get older. Okay, so we can simply say that this abscisic acid promote abscission. Abscission means aging of plant part. Okay, so we can say that it is a growth inhibiting hormone. Now it is not promoting. It is not promoting. It is opposite to the growth promoting hormone. So it restrict the growth. Okay, so it is growth inhibiting hormone. It is growth inhibiting hormone. It is responsible for aging of plant part. Aging of plant part. It helps in closing of stomata. Closing of stomata. So, like you have seen that cytokinin was responsible for opening of stomata. Here, the abscisic acid is responsible for closing of stomata. I understood. We understood, other students.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
It is growth inhibiting hormone. It is a growth inhibiting hormone, means it does not promote the growth. It is opposite to the growth. It does not want the plants to. So it is responsible for aging of plant part, means it promote abscissions, and means aging of plant part like leaves, roots. Okay, so it want the plant to get older. It help in closing of stomata. Have you understood?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and it is also responsible for deattachment of plant parts. It is deattachment means like the fruit is being ripened, then it get deattached. If the leaf becomes yellow, then it get deattached. So it is also responsible. It help in deattachment of plant parts. Next one is last one is ethylene. Ethylene. Ethylene is a only gaseous hormone, like the other hormones were liquid. Here, see, this ethylene is the only gaseous hormone. It is the only. It is the only gaseous hormone. Only gaseous hormone. Also called fruit ripening hormone. Fruit ripening hormone, as it helps in ripening of fruit. Got it? Got it?
Yes, sir.
Sir.
Please note it down. If anybody is having any problem regarding to this, so tell me which hormones help in closing of stomata. Which hormones help in closing of stomata?
Abscisic acid.
Abscisic acid.
Which is a growth promoting hormone? We name the name any two growth promoting hormone.
Auxin and cytokinin.
Okay. Name a gaseous hormone.
Ethylene.
Okay. Name the fruit ripening hormone.
Ethylene.
Which hormone in plant is responsible for increasing the lateral growth of the plants or increasing the width of the stem?
Gibberellin.
Which hormone decreases the dormancy period?
Gibberellin.
Okay. Now moving to the next part. Let's move to the next part. That is now we have just studied these type of responses. These were the responses that plant internally responds. Okay, like if the fruit is being ripened, so it internally releases. So that it is releasing. So we can say that the stimulus is there, and plant is responding internally. Now the plants, there are some, we can say that there was some internal stimulus, and now plant responds to the external stimulus. So we can write here response of plant to external stimulus. Okay, now you understood internal stimulus means like the growth of the plant is internal factor. Na? Like this tomato, if the plant is not having so much water, then stomata need to be closed. So that is an internal matter. Okay, of the plant. That is an internal stomata that is happening. Ripening of fruit, aging of plant part. Okay, so that is internal body. For example, if my kidney is not working properly, okay, so that is my body's internal matter. Okay, so my if I'm having high blood pressure, that is my body internal matter. So if I'm having high blood sugar, so it is my internal matter. We can say that it is an internal stimulus, and we know that endocrine systems response to these internal stimulus, like if I'm having high blood sugar, then insulin will be released by pancreas. Okay, if I'm having simply low water low water in the blood or in the body, then the antidiuretic hormone will be released by pituitary gland. Okay, if I'm having simply these are the, if I'm having if my, means if thyroid gland is going will be secreted, if I'm not having the proper balance of glucose, fat, vitamins, okay, and also I can simply say that there are some internal factors that the plant is responsive, like the plant is also responsive. Okay, similarly, if I'm saying that similarly there are some external stimulus. For example, if the temperature of the room is very high, then I turn on the AC. Okay, if I'm saying that if I'm thirsty, okay, I will drink water. So there are some internal and external stimulus. Okay, got it? Understood? So that we were studying, that these were the response, or the stimulus were internal. Okay, the phytohormones are released in response to internal stimulus. Now you understood? Phytohormones functions in response to internal stimulus. Okay, but if the stimulus is external, then plant responds to that external stimulus also in two ways. Got it? Got it?
Yes, sir.
Is there any, Tejasvi, you understood?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So if I'm saying here, response of plant to external stimulus, so there are the two types of, okay, we can say that these movements are caused in response, let's write these, note it down, these movement response. How does the plant respond? Plant will respond when it moves, it shows some movements. Okay, so I'm saying these movements are caused in response to some external stimulus such as direction of light, such as light, temperature, chemical, water, gravity, etc. Got it? Now you understood that plants also respond. Plants also do the movement in order to respond the external stimulus. Okay, plants also show the movement in order to respond the external stimulus. And now you know the difference between the internal stimulus and the external stimulus. Tejasvi,
Yes, sir.
Abhi, now you understood, and other students,
Yes, sir.
now you
Yes, sir.
understood. Faiz, Shoaib, you understood?
Yes, sir.
Shoaib, are you there?
Yes, sir.
So if I'm saying that, if I'm asking that the stomata of the plant, if the plant is dehydrated, plant is not having water inside it, okay? So is that response is internal or external? Is that stimulus is internal or external?
Internal.
Internal. Okay. If I ask the growth of plant, okay, like you see the plant is going, the height of the plant is increasing. So is it the internal matter or the external matter? It is internal. Okay.
Internal.
Okay. And if there is a sunlight, the duration of sunlight. So if more, if some plant is getting less amount of sunlight in the day, so plant will respond. So will it be internal or external?
External.
Gravity, the roots moves towards the gravity or towards the direction of gravity. Is it internal or external?
External.
Okay, external. You understood what is internal and external movements. Okay, external stimulus. So plant responds to internal stimulus by secreting the phytohormones. Okay, and here the plant is responding to external stimulus in two ways. Okay, so etc. Okay, they are there, or we can say they are, the movement is caused by response. Okay. There are two types of movement. Shown by plants. One is the nestic movement, one is the tropic movement. Tropic movement, and another one is the nestic movement. Nestic movement. And this tropic movement, and another one is the nestic movement. So let me explain you what is tropic movement and another what is nestic movement. Okay, if suppose you see you are sitting in a room, okay, and if the temperature is decreased or it decreases or increases, so will you feel that the temperature is having in a particular direction? Do you think that by temperature has particular direction?
No.
No. Plant temperature does not have any particular direction. Okay. If suppose sunlight, okay, I'm just talking about the sunlight, okay. If sunlight is coming from a window, okay, from a window, so I can say that this time the sunlight is going to have a particular direction that is coming from your window only. Okay, so we can simply say that that type of movement or that type of stimulus is going to have some direction. It's going to have some direction. So if I'm saying that, like I'm going to example, duration of sunlight, that how many hours the sun will rises or during the daytime. So duration of sunlight, that how many hours will the sun remain, or we can say during the daytime. So that is the type of stimulus that is not going to have any particular direction. But if I'm saying that the sunlight is coming from a particular side or particular window, that will be considered as that the stimulus is going to have some direction. Okay, so there are the two types of stimulus. One is there are two types of external stimulus. External stimulus are of two types. External stimulus are of two types. One is that have direction, and another one is that do not have direction. That do not have direction. For example, gravity. Gravity has direction. Gravity. Okay. So gravity. Okay, we can say that light coming from a particular direction. Light coming from particular direction. Okay, next one is similarly, if I'm saying the duration of light do not have any direction. Temperature do not have any direction, but plant also responds. Duration of light, okay, temperature, plant response to these. Okay, plant, we can simply say that plant responds to these stimuli. Okay, and and show some movements. Okay, and show some movement either by bending the shoot towards the direction of light. Okay, or we can say that the growth of plant towards the growth of root towards the direction of gravity. Okay, so if I'm saying the stimulus is going to have particular direction and the plant is showing it responds to that direction or against that direction. Okay, if I'm saying that unilateral light is given to the plant, okay, and the bend and the shoot is bending towards the plant when a unilateral light is given, and the shoot is bending towards this direction. So we can simply say that a stimulus has particular direction, means light has particular direction from which it is coming, and the plant is responding towards this sunlight. The bend, it is bending towards the sunlight. This type of movement is called tropic. This type of movement or this type of response is called tropic response or tropic. You understood? And if this stimulus does not have any particular direction, but the plant also responds to that stimulus. For example, if the duration of light is not much for a plant that is long day plant, and if we bring that plant to that area where the light duration is not 10 to 14 hours, it is 6 to 8 hours, so the plant will not do the flowering. Okay, it will affect. Okay, similarly, if temperature also, if you you know that apples are grown in the colder region. So if you bring the apples to the area where it is the temperatures are high, so the plant will not grow there. So that we can say that the stimulus don't have particular direction, but the plant is responsible, is not flowering. So that is responsive to that external stimulus. That type of movement, that type of response is called nesting response or nesting movement. You understand? You understood that what is
Yes, sir.
nesting? What is nesting movement and what is tropic movement? In tropic movement, the stimulus has a particular direction, but in nesting movement, the stimulus don't have the particular direction. So note it down. Note it down. Tropic movement. Tropic movement. Okay. When a stimulus have a particular direction and a particular direction and plants response towards or against. What do you mean by this towards or against? Sometimes you know that if you have taken this plant, okay, so the roots are moving towards the gravity, but the shoot is growing against the gravity. So we can say that the root is showing positive and is going towards the gravity, but the shoot is growing against the gravity. Okay, so if I'm saying that when a stimulus has a particular direction and plant respond either towards the direction or against, means opposite to the direction. Okay, towards or against that stimulus, towards and against the direction of that stimulus, Such type of movement, such type of movement are called nesting movement. Nesting, you understand? Are called nesting movement. Understood? Everybody in the class, Abir,
Sir.
Tejasvi, you understood?
Yes, sir.
Shoaib, understood?
Yes,
Faiz,
Yes, sir.
yes,
okay. Tropic movement is when a stimulus is a particular direction and the plant responds towards or against the direction of the stimulus. Okay, for example, if a light is given, let me explain you one by one. Example, types of nesting movement. Sorry, tropic movement. Tropic movement. First, we are going to discuss that is phototropic movement. Phototropic movement. So, what is phototropic movement? Phototropic movement is that movement in which if the light is given in a particular direction, photo means light. For example, this is the let's suppose this is okay. This is a flower pot. Okay, and this is the plant that is growing, and the sun is coming in this from this direction. Okay. This is sun. The light is coming from this. Now this is A position. After some days, okay, you will see that this plants is going the bend of this the bend, and then we can say the shoot or the stem of this plant is going to bend. Stem of this plant is going to bends in this direction. Understood? Understood? That why it is going to bend. Tell me why it is going to bend. Sure. Yes, we have it. Twice. Got it? Why it is going to bend? Tell me. Is there anyone who can tell me why it is going to bend? So let me explain you this one. Let me write first that what is tropic movement. So let's write first that what is tropic movement. Phototropic movement. So when unidirectional light is given to the plant, then shoot of the plant bend in the direction of light. This bending of shoot in response is called phototropic movement. Phototropic movement. Please note it down.
Done, sir.
Let the student. So why it is happening? Let me explain you. Is there anyone? Can this be done?
Yes,
We are
sir.
done.
Done.
So if I'm saying that, suppose you are going to have this plant, okay, and here's a shoot, okay, of the plant, and it is going to get the lateral or unidirectional light. So let me zoom this portion. Let me zoom out this stem portion, okay, and let you zoom this like this way. Okay, let you zoom like this. So what is going to happen when unilateral direction of light is given? The sun, light is coming. Okay, so auxin, you know, auxin hormone. What's the function of auxin hormone?
Growth and cell division.
Growth and cell division. So what is going to happen here is when the unidirectional light is given, so this region is considered to be a light region, and this region is the shady region that is away from the, okay, shady region. So in this region, more auxin is secreted. Near in the shady region, more auxin is secreted. So in shady region, more auxin is secreted. What is going to happen? What is the function of auxin? That is cell division. So this will result in the elongation of this part. Okay, elongation of this part. So means this part will grow faster at this part. Shady region or shady part will grow at faster rate. Why? Faster rate, why? Why it will go at faster rate? Tell me.
Due to oxygen.
Due to oxygen, very good. So what would happen if you think that these are the two lines and you need to keep them parallel? You need to keep them parallel to each other, and their end to end should meet, and you need to increase the length of this one. Length of this one will increase, okay, and this means this should be of greater length, this should be of smaller length, okay, and their end to end should meet. So what is going to happen? This structure will be bent, will be like this. You know, their end to end is still meets. It is in greater length, and this one is shorter length. I've understood the concept of bending. This region will remain in front of this region. This region will remain in front of this region. But what is going to, if this length is going to increase, so what is going to happen? This region will curl because of the faster growth of this. Okay, got it? More length, that is more length. More length is shorter length. Okay. So if an area is growing unevenly, and if there is one area is growing at faster rate, another is growing at the lower rate or the slower rate, then simply the area which is growing in faster rate will help in curling, making the or bending of that shoe. Got it? You understood?
Yes, sir.
Is there anyone who doesn't understand the concept of this one? Everyone understood that oxygen is secreted in the shady region? Okay, more oxygen is secreted in the shady region. So let me try to this one. That know the question. Why does the shoot of plant get bends when unilateral light is given. Okay, so note it down. Auxin, which is a growth promoting hormone, a growth promoting hormone, secrete more in the shady region, in the shady region, as comparison to the light region. This results in uneven growth, or we can say that unequal growth. Unequal growth of shoot shady region, grow resulting in bending of one part. Done.
Yes, sir.
Is there anyone who is still writing?
Just a minute, sir. Done, sir.
Done. Okay. The last topic and last part. You know that the similar case of oxygen is also responsible for those climbing plants. You know, climbing plants that require support for their, okay. Okay, now those part, how do it get curled? Why it is bending here? You know that the part which is in the contact, or in the touch, we can say with the support. Okay, here the secretion of oxygen is less as comparison to that area which is not in the contact. So you need to keep in mind here it is opposite to the shady region. You think that the area which is in contact, it will become the shady region, or it will be, no, it is opposite here. Okay, the oxygen is secreted more in that area which is not in the contact. Oxygen is secreted more in that area which is in the not in the contact. You understood? So if it is just this in the touch, so that the area which is not in the contact, okay, will grow at faster rate, and the area which is in contact will grow at the slower rate. This result in bending of uh, of the shoot again. Okay, you understood? So we will write it in the next class.